I just love creating. It's just so satisfying. It's very freeing to just do this. I mean, I have to pinch myself sometimes. I've been doing it pretty much my whole life. I was an art director, and then I went into advertising, and then I went into decorative finishing, and then I had a store that sold product for decorative finishing, and then as I was there I had sample walls of what the product could do, and started making these big wood panels of them, and people wanted to start buying the panels, and so I thought, I could make art. And a guy from a gallery came in and said, I love these. Would you consider selling them in my art gallery? And I said, sure. And I put it in there, and the next week he sold all 3 of them. And so that's how it started. I had a girlfriend who did all the illustrations for me, and then we were on the computer age, so everything went from meeting and going over the illustrations to just scan it and send me a JPEG. And, you know, the lunchtime or whatever, that was kind of the fun part of the interaction, kind of got lost. And so she started doing decorative finishing murals, and she needed help. And so I was at the time kind of freelancing. So I just cleared a Friday and a Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, went and did it. And I'm like, oh my God, we're doing this. I loved that. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so fun. And so physical. That was just kind of a huge draw for it too, is to be creative, be moving, kind of interacting with the people. We did that for a number of years. She and I were super busy in Silicon Valley, and then I moved to Portland, and I continued to do it, and it was great. And then the store where I bought all of my product went up for sale. So I thought, you know what, I've been schlepping for 12 years. Up and down scaffolding, doing whole houses. I thought, I'll just buy the store, and then I'll train people. Doesn't that kind of the natural evolution? As you learn, you master, and then you teach. And I thought, I'll just teach everybody how to do all the decorative finishes. So that was a big part of my store, was teaching people how to do the applications and product, because it all comes in a bucket, and then what are you going to do with the bucket? So it was basically teaching people how to be creative, and then I just evolved into getting into a gallery. And so I did have my store for 5 years while I was in the gallery. I just start with a wood panel, blank, and then I put a base coat on it, so it's either black or gold. And these ones have gold. Because this is the part that's going to show through the cracks. And then I put on the cracking texture, which is this finish right here. And it cracks. So in this one you can see the black coming through it. And then you go on to adding layers of either paints or more textures. So this has a whole bunch of different silver paints. It's got 4 different silver paints and a glaze. And then I go in and put this texture stuff on it. But I'm going to leave this because I'm just going to do a nice, really light kind of glaze. And this one is got the cracking texture underneath it, but I've put texture on top of it. And so this is a little bit more complete. If you look at this one, is the cracking, and I'm going to put texture on it. But I go through and I kind of glaze the areas where the textures are. So when I put the geometric shapes, then when I put the texture over it, these things will still be kind of protruding or slightly show through to give it a little bit of emphasis. And so like on a finished piece, this is where I did the geometric shapes with the shape on it, and then when I go over it with the texture, then it kind of shows that you have that part. So it's just building a whole bunch of layers. There's no fear. It's just paint. If I don't like it, I just go over the top of it. I mean, this has probably been 3 different paintings, and now I finally like it. You know, you're not going to see the evolution of it, but it was pink at one time, and then it had circles with these in the middle of the circles, and then I went over it and I made it geometric. So this is where I've sort of ended up with it. So sometimes I don't worry about it if I don't like it. I just go over it. So, and it's just trying new things all the time. It's kind of my motto is like what makes my eyes happy is the combination of textures and colors and sheens and shapes. And so when you kind of start working with all of those elements together, and then they come together to create something like a composition to pull your eyes around, which is sort of something from my advertising years, is to just pull your eye around the piece and have it have interesting places to rest and then move and rest and move. But the constant, like, why are these things here? What does, they're more of kind of intrigue. What to do next? Because I love like geometric shapes and blues and neutrals, and then I'm all constantly like, I should do something new. I should experiment and do something new. So I do kind of like to do series, but that's my next thing is the challenge of finding something that is kind of new. So a lot of times then I'll sit down and look at my pictures from my travels, and then I'll find some little element of it that I love. So, and then I start to figure out how I can incorporate that and have that translate into my work. I went the last year, and I was in love with it. I was the artist. I knew a couple of them. One of the women is a portrait painter from Portland, and so I know her, Robin Damore. And so I went and visited her. I mean, I've known her. I did an internship with her after I got out of high school and between high school and college. I did in an advertising agency. So I did an internship with her, and I went and met with her. And the people, the whole collaboration of a group of artists, there's an amazing energy there, and you feel like you just want to be kind of part of it.